Good evening, children. Welcome to AIMS India's online classes. Biology, cell structure and functions. Let us recapitulate the concepts which we have learned. Cell. It is the structural and functional unit of life. What is structural and functional unit? Structural means all parts of an organism made up of cell, and functional unit, all the functions of the organism depends upon the function carried out in the cells. Hence cell is considered as structural and functional unit of life. Cell was first observed by Robert Hooke in a dead cork slice in the year 1665. He observed the cork tissue under his own microscope, simple microscope, and he called those as compartments, and each compartment he called it as a cell. So he observed that in a cork tissue there are several compartments like this. So each compartment he called it as a cell. Okay. So that's why Robert Hooke is called as the father of cell biology or cytology. Study of cell is called cytology. Cell wall. So we have studied it is the outermost layer in the plant cells, and it maintains the shape and protects the plant cell. It is impermeable, rigid, and gives protection to the plant cells. Cell membrane. Cell membrane, it is also called as plasma membrane or plasma lemma. It is selectively permeable membrane. It is a living membrane. Nucleus. Nucleus is the most important organelle or most prominent organelle. It was discovered by Robert Brown in 1831. It is a double membrane bound dense protoplasmic body. It controls all cellular metabolism. Means all the functions of the cell are under the control of nucleus. Hence nucleus is also called the brain of the cell. Next, endoplasmic reticulum. This endoplasmic reticulum was discovered by Porter, Claude and Porter, and it is made of several structures like cisternae, vesicles, tubules, and it forms the endoskeleton. It forms the endoskeleton of cells, and it transports proteins and lipids. Endoplasmic reticulum is the transport system within the cell. It acts like a transport system within the cell. And we also studied about Golgi apparatus. The Golgi apparatus, it was discovered by Camillo Golgi in 1898, and it is also called as a dictyosome. Please note down, children, some important terms which we didn't come across in the textbook. Golgi apparatus is also called a dictyosome, particularly in plant cells. In plant cells, Golgi apparatus is also called a dictyosome. The function of Golgi apparatus is secretion of proteins. Secretion of proteins. Mainly Golgi apparatus is secretory in function. So in most of the organelles or most of the organs of the body which are secretory in function, they include Golgi apparatus. Okay. These number of Golgi apparatus or Golgi complex are present more in those organs which are secreting some important biological fluids like enzymes, hormones. Lysosomes. Lysosomes were discovered by D. Dewey in 1955. Most of the inventions and discoveries of the cell took place in 18th century and in the beginning of 19th century. So, D. Dewey was a scientist who discovered lysosomes. These lysosomes found in animal cells and they are absent in the plant cells. They are also called as suicidal bags of the cell. Suicidal bags of the cell. What is the meaning of suicidal bags? These are the organelles which are active even after the death of the cell. So, any dead remains present in the cell, or if that cell dies after its date, then automatically these lysosomes break out and release the enzymes present in these lysosomes, so that they degenerate that particular organelle or the cell. Hence, they are called suicidal bags of the cell. Ribosomes. Ribosomes were discovered by Palade. Who discovered ribosomes? Palade. These ribosomes help in protein synthesis. They are often called as protein factories of the cell. Which organelles are called protein factories of the cell? Ribosomes. These ribosomes are freely existing in the cytoplasm of the cell, or these ribosomes may attach it to the endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum with ribosomes, it is called rough endoplasmic reticulum. What is the function? Protein synthesis. Next, plastids, mainly chloroplastids. Plastids are how many types? 3 main types or 2 types. They are chromoplastids and leucoplastids. Chromoplastids are again divided into chloroplasts and chromoplasts. Chromoplasts, other than green color, remaining colored plastids are called chromoplasts. Who classified these plastids? Schimper was the scientist who classified the plastids into 3 groups. Chloroplasts are green color plastids. They perform photosynthesis. These chloroplastids are called kitchen of the plant cell, kitchen houses of the plant cell, where the food manufacturing takes place. Why they are green in color? Because of presence of a green pigment called chlorophyll. And remaining colored plastids are also different colors, like they are called chromoplasts. So, xanthophyll, yellow color, carotenoids, like that different pigments are present. That's why you might have observed the plant structures. Fruit peel is different color, petals are different color, because of the presence of different chromoplasts. But the main plastid is chloroplastid, where the photosynthesis reaction takes place. Next, mitochondria. What is the meaning of mitochondria? Please note down. Mitos means thread. Chondrion means granules. Thread granules. The meaning is. So, the name mitochondria was given by Benda in 1897. They are called bioplasts by Altman. Okay. These mitochondria are double membranous structures. What is the main function of mitochondria? Involves in cellular respiration, the respiration within the cell. So, they are called powerhouses of the cell, because the energy is produced in the form of ATP. What do you call the ATP? Energy currency. Okay, and they are also called cellular furnaces, where the energy is produced. Okay, powerhouses of the cell. So these mitochondria plays a very important role in the generation of energy, which is called the metabolic energy, which is required to carry out the different functions. So hence mitochondria are called powerhouses of the cell. So let us proceed to today's class. In the today's class, the remaining organelle, vacuoles. These vacuoles are liquid or solid filled and single membrane bound non-living organelles. They are non-living organelles. In plant cells, vacuoles are large and permanent. In plant cells, vacuoles are large and permanent. In animal cells, vacuoles are small and temporary. See the difference between the vacuole of plant cell and animal cell. Vacuoles are the biggest organelle in the plant cells. In a mature cell, plant cell, vacuole is very large in size, whereas in animal cells, number of vacuoles may be more, but they are very small and they are temporary. Okay, you can see amoeba, food vacuole, contractile vacuoles, they are present, perform different functions. But the main function of this vacuole is storage. So you see the plant cell vacuole compared to all organelles, okay, chloroplast, cell wall, okay, nucleus, mitochondria. For example, you compare with the mitochondria, nucleus and chloroplast, which is the large in size? This vacuole. Vacuole is very big in size. A mature plant cell contains large vacuole, even it pushes the nucleus aside. Nucleus is pushed aside by the vacuole. So it maintains osmotic balance in the plant cell. The excess food materials or fluids which are present in the cytoplasm of the cell are absorbed into the vacuole. Okay. In a mature plant cell, it occupies 90% space of cell volume. It occupied 90% of space. Due to its size, other organelles, including nucleus, shifts towards plasma membrane. So this is the cell membrane or plasma membrane. So nucleus is pushed this side. Okay. They help in maintaining osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure is very important to maintain the homeostasis in the cell. Means the balance in the cell is maintained. The fluid balance in the cell is maintained by these vacuoles. Okay, for example, in animals, if excess of water is present, particularly freshwater unicellular organisms like amoeba and paramecium, these contractile vacuoles, they eliminate the excess of water enter into the body due to endoosmosis. So that water, excess water will be eliminated out and osmotic balance is maintained. So that process is called osmoregulation. Osmoregulation. Removal of excess of water from the body through contractile vacuoles is called osmoregulation. For example, human beings also, in our body also, excess of water is eliminated out in the form of sweat and urine. Particularly kidneys plays an important role. They are our osmoregulatory organs. Okay. So in plant cell, the vacuole is large in size. In mature plant cell, it occupies 90% of the volume of the cell. Even it pushes the nucleus also towards the plasma membrane. The main function of vacuole is to maintain osmotic balance and store the excess of materials present in the cell. Next, with this we have completed the cell organelles. Now let us study some general concept. Are the cells flat? Are all cells flat? When you observe under microscope, usually when the cells are seen under microscope, the image appears as flat and two-dimensional. Image appears as flat and two-dimensional, any cell. It seems that all the organelles in the cell are situated in one plane. In reality, in real, cells have length, breadth and thickness. Generally we can observe length and breadth, but thickness it is not easy to observe. We can easily see length and breadth. Since we can't see the thickness of the cells under the microscope, we tend to think that these are flat objects. These are flat objects. So what is the shape of the cell? If you see, the shape of the cell is actually, it's a three-dimensional. What our eyes see, it is two-dimensional and flat, but cells are not flat. They are usually three-dimensional, 3D. Most cells have three basic parts. What are they? Nucleus, cytoplasm and cell membrane. They may also contain other small structures called organelles that perform specific functions. Okay, every organelle performs its own function, like mitochondria, cellular respiration, chloroplast, photosynthesis, ribosomes, protein synthesis, okay, and lysosomes, intracellular digestion. Okay, like that the different cells performs different functions. But here the concept is, are cells flat? Okay, the easiest method is to slightly change the focus while viewing plant cells on the slide and look at the cell wall. You will find that you are able to see the thickness of wall. So particularly when you observe the plant cell, this is the cell wall. You will see slowly when you change the focus under the microscope, you will see the thickness slightly. The cell wall is the tough structure, so you will see thickness of the wall. This three-dimensional image becomes clear if you reduce the intensity of light as well. So you know, when you observe the microscope, okay, in this video we are going to see the parts of microscope also. So on the base, source of light will be there. So by reducing or clearing, reduce the intensity of light, you can clearly see the thickness of a plant cell. So each cell acquires its structure and ability to function because of the organization of its membrane and organelles in a specific way. Let us see. The easiest method is change the focus while viewing the plant cells on the slide and look at the cell's wall. You will find that you are able to see the thickness of the wall, this three-dimensional image becomes clear if you reduce the intensity of light as well. The each cell thus acquires its structure and ability to function because of the organization of its membrane and organelles in a specific way. Okay, so whatever the specimens and slides which you are observing in the laboratory, they are actually three-dimensional. Okay, so if you see the animal cell here, the different organelles present in the animal cell, ribosomes, rough endoplasmic reticulum, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, microtubules, Golgi body, centrioles, lysosomes, mitochondrion, the cytoplasm, the nucleus, nucleolus, nuclear pore. So all these are the structures. So every cell is made up of its own cellular organization, means different cell organelles, and perform the specific function. So where do cells come from? This is very important thing. Around 1838 and 1839, the two eminent scientists named Schleiden and Schwann made a similar observation. They made independently, they made similar observations. Schleiden was a botanist. A botanist means the person who study about the plants. Okay, while Schwann was a zoologist who study the animals. They together formulated a theory called cell theory. In 1838, they introduced cell theory. So according to this cell theory, all living things are composed of one or more cells. All living cells are composed of one or more cells. The cell is the basic unit of life. Cell is the basic structural unit of life. And the new cells arise from the existing cells. This point was not added by these two scientists. Later, Rudolf Virchow was another scientist who studied on cell division and introduced a new concept that new cells arise from pre-existing cells. Omnis cellula e cellulae. He proposed one statement. The meaning of that statement is the new cells are formed from pre-existing cells. The cell is the fundamental unit of structure and functions in all living organisms. This is the final statement. We define the cell based on the postulates of the cell theory only. Rudolf Virchow in 1855 first explained that cells divided and new cells formed. Okay. Who proposed the cell theory? Schleiden and Schwann. Schleiden was a botanist, Schwann was zoologist. According to the cell theory, all living organisms are made up of basic structural units called cells. Second statement, all living organisms are made up of basic functional units called cells. Okay, and the new cells arise from the pre-existing cells. These are the three main postulates of the cell theory, or it is also called cell doctrine. Okay, children. Next, the microscope. Before going to microscope, the Schleiden and Schwann were the first to claim that this fact was true for the entire plant and animal kingdom, that all plants are made up of cells said by Schleiden, and all animals are made up of cells. This statement was made by Schwann. Okay, and then in other words we can say they took the first bold step of generalizing from observations and coming up with a theory which was applicable to all living organisms. Okay, that is called cell theory. At that time only, before that 200 years between Robert Hooke first observed the cells and the formulation of the cell theory, but he didn't say clearly, but Schleiden and Schwann together formulated the cell theory. This theory did not explain how the new cells are formed. Later Rudolf Virchow in 1855 explained that cells divided and the new cells are formed from pre-existing cells. So what are the two main statements of the cell theory? All living organisms are composed of cells and the product of cells. All cells arise from pre-existing cells. So let us know briefly about the microscope. What is a microscope? Microscope is an instrument. It is an instrument which is used to study those objects that cannot be seen with the naked eye or with the help of hand lens. Hand lens means magnifying glass. Okay, a microscope has more than one lens. It has more than one lens. The first compound microscope was built by Zacharias Janssen. This is the compound microscope. A compound microscope uses two or more lenses to produce a magnified image of an object known as the specimen placed on a slide or a piece of glass at the base. Okay. So this is the microscope, compound microscope. Generally in our science laboratories these microscopes are available. You might have observed the slides also using this microscope. If not, request your subject teacher to visit the lab and observe the parts of microscope. In order to understand the working of microscope, you need to have little knowledge regarding the physics also. How the light functions. It functions on the reflection of light principle. Okay. So it possesses different parts. First, base or stand. On the base, light source and different adjustment. This is very important part, fine focus adjustment. Okay, this is the eyepiece through which you can see, ocular or eyepiece. Okay, coarse focus. So this light source you need to adjust, and a condenser is present. A stage clip. Okay, by placing, after placing a slide on the stage, this clip, it stops the movement of that slide or cover slip. Then arm, you need to hold the microscope here. This is the arm of microscope. Then lens, objective lens are present, and resolving nose piece. This is the resolving nose piece, and here you need to observe. So while observing, you need to focus, fine focus adjustment you have to do, so that clearly you can see the object. What is the main function of this microscope is, it multiplies the size of the object kept under it. Okay. So you can able to see a unicellular organism like amoeba or a algae or a blood cell, whatever it may be. Permanent slides are available, so you keep those permanent slides and observe. In 8th class you have studied how the preparation of slide. So now you need to observe using the microscope. Children, you need to take the observations, you have to draw the figure and try to label the parts. So till now you have studied the different cell organelles and their functions. So read the textbook. So some interesting questions will be asked. Read the chapter carefully, collect the information about the functions of different cell organelles and make a table which contains serial number, cell organelle and function. 3 columns you can make. Name of the cell organelle, then function. You write. Don't forget, write your specific findings below the table. Or cell is the basic unit of life. You can explain the statement by considering the cell theory. Okay. So the formation of a living organism is a natural and a beautiful thing. Here, appreciate the functions, how the tiny cell is performing all these functions. Okay, your digestive system is performing digestion function because of the organs. So how the organism is formed? Cells combine forming tissues. About tissues in the further lessons we are going to discuss. So let us test ourselves. Today's assessment, cell, quiz number 4. Who discovered the cell? Come on. Robert Hooke, Purkinje, Robert Brown, Davison. Among these 4, who is the person discovered the cell for the first time? Robert Hooke. In 1665, he discovered the cell for the first time. The term cell was introduced by Robert Hooke only. Next, what object is similar to a vacuole? A brain, a balloon, a blanket, or a book. So vacuole is, okay, a balloon like organelle. Okay children, it is the balloon like organelle. It is made up of a single membrane. That membrane is called as tonoplast. Tonoplast. Next, how many vacuoles are there in a plant cell? In a plant cell, how many vacuoles are there? Only 1. A is the correct answer. Next, which of the following are the parts of vacuole? Cell sap, tonoplast, nucleus, both cell sap and tonoplast. Both cell sap and tonoplast. Now what is cell sap? The cell sap is the fluid present in the vacuole. Just like the fluid present in the cell is called cytoplasm. The fluid present in the nucleus is called as nucleoplasm. The fluids which are present in the vacuole is called cell sap. You observe a succulent plant, that is a aloe vera, available at your home. You can cut the stem portion and you observe the white jelly portion which is present, that is nothing but a cell sap. Or a tomato, if you take a tomato and cut it, inside also you will find the vacuoles containing fluid. They are fluid filled bag like structures. Okay. The excess of fluids present in the cell are stored in the vacuole. So what are the parts? Cell sap and tonoplast. Next question, what is the function of vacuole? Storage of nutrients, protect the cell nutrients, control cells DNA, all the above. What is the main function? Storage of nutrients. A is the correct answer. Excess of nutrients are stored in the vacuoles. Vacuoles that pumps excess water out of the cell is food vacuole, contractile vacuole, storage vacuole, ordinary vacuole. In unicellular freshwater animals like amoeba and paramecium, there are special vacuoles are present. What are they called? Contractile vacuoles. What is their function? Osmoregulation. They pumps excess of water out of the cell. Whereas in plant cell, that cell wall protects the plant cell from entry of excess of water. But in animal cells, there is no cell wall, only cell membrane is present. So excess of water will enter inside. So this contractile vacuole pushes that excess of water outside. That is called osmoregulation. Next, the vacuoles present in the animal cells are food vacuole, contractile vacuole, storage vacuole. What are the vacuoles present in the animal cells? Yes, food vacuole, contractile vacuole. So the answer is D, both A and B. Next, what is the name of vacuole membrane? Vacuole membrane is called tonoplast, vacuolar envelope, nuclear envelope, or leucoplast. Tonoplast. The single membrane present in the vacuole is called tonoplast. I store water in both plant and animal cells. What am I? Ribosome, lysosome, vacuole. All of the above. What is the correct answer? Yes, C is the correct answer. So this is the structure vacuole which store the water. Vacuole. Okay. Excess of fluids will be stored in the vacuole. Who concluded all animals are made up of cells? Rudolf Virchow, Matthias Schleiden, Robert Hooke, Theodore Schwann. Who concluded all animals are made up of cells? A zoologist by name. He is the person. In textbook it is not there. Who is he? Theodore Schwann. Theodore Schwann. He is the zoologist who observed the different tissues, animal tissues, and proposed that all animals are made of cells. This scientist used a microscope to observe a cork. He discovered tiny compartments and called them cells. Who is he? Rudolf Virchow, Matthias Schleiden, Robert Hooke, Theodore Schwann. So he is the person who observed the dead cork tissue under the microscope for the first time. He is the Robert Hooke. Robert Hooke. His interest towards the study of cells made him to discover the cells. Who concluded all cells are made from pre-existing cells? All cells are made from pre-existing cells. Rudolf Virchow, Matthias Schleiden, Robert Hooke, Theodore Schwann. He is the person. All cells are made from pre-existing cells. Who is he? Rudolf Virchow. Rudolf Virchow. He studied the cell division. In order to observe the cell division, in your laboratory, the best thing is observe the early formed roots, root tips and stem tips. Ask your teacher to, with the help of your subject teacher, you prepare a slide of roots, tip of the root. How you can collect this tip of the root? A sprouted seed or onion, you can keep it on a bottle containing water. So within few days white roots develop. So those roots take a small section and observe under the microscope. You will see different stages of cell division. Okay. So he observed a cell division process and proposed a statement: all cells are made from pre-existing cells. Next, German scientist that discovered that all plants were composed of cells. Who is he? He is the person Rudolf Virchow, Schleiden, Robert Hooke, Schwann. So he is a botanist who studied the plant tissues. Is the Schleiden. What is one thing that plant cells and animal cells don't have in common? What is one thing that plant cells and animal cells don't have in common? So cell membrane, both of them possess. Mitochondria, both of them possess. Vacuoles, both of them possess. So here these are the structures called centrioles. Okay, the centrioles possess a centromere. This is centrosome, actually the structure, and the centrosome releases the centrioles which reach the opposite poles of the nucleus during cell division. You will study about this in higher classes. Centrioles, the main function is cell division. Centrioles are present only in the animal cells, but at the time of cell division in plant cells also it is formed. The last question: in a plant and animal cell, what allows osmosis? What allows osmosis? Cell membrane, mitochondria, centrioles, vacuoles. So osmosis is a physiological process which involves the participation of the biological membrane. So this is the movement of water. Osmosis is equal to the movement of water molecules along the membrane. Cell membrane. What is the correct answer? A. So in plants and animal cells, the osmosis process takes place. You can define osmosis as the process during which the movement of molecules, particularly water molecules or ions, takes place from low concentration to high concentration across the membrane. It is called as osmosis. Okay. So children, I hope you understood today's concept. So keep reading the textbooks. If textbooks are not available, you can observe our offline videos which are already completed, recorded videos, so that you can gain the knowledge, and please attempt the exam on Sunday. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel to get latest updates.